You know, like they're qualified teams. Let them fight. Don't give those guys, you know, room to break away like Peterbot and Boyo have done over the last few rounds, because you see how much of a problem they tend to be when they get into the end games and they're comfortable. The team that we've seen kind of slip out of the fight a bit here is actually Scare and Queasy. I saw Scare go down there in the lead. So with 173, they're not quite out of the tournament just yet, but they are going to have to pull through with two monstrous games. You want to see them pop off. Meanwhile, back to Peterbot there at 3 elims here, Jacob.
See how we got that third one so far. Northern, I feel like this is exactly what we saw when they were chasing down enough. Northern has just been kind of put in the blender time and time again, and as soon as he respawns, since it's so early in the game, they can easily try to catch up. Neo and Noisy, though, taking down Booga, leaving it all up to Braids to stay alive, and they just keep it flowing. Higgs is the next person in their line of sight. They, too, are close. 172 points, 2 second places on the day. If they could just match the eliminations with top 5s to end the day, we could possibly see Neo and Noisy qualifying to the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, most definitely. They were really close in the early instances of the evening. Higgs and Curve back to them. 2-2-1 on the points here. Not too bad, as they've landed kind of near where Booga just touched down on. You see Breeze down below. Booga spawned in. He's got a shotgun. He's got an AR. Curve's got no idea he's behind this ammo crate here. Eventually, they will check it, though. Obviously, there's no reason for them not to go ahead and clean up the loot here. Secure it.
See, if this was a chest, I think you'd be right on the money there, Monster. But since it's just an ammo crate and you do get loot ammo from getting those eliminations, I think it's just not necessarily a concern in the back of their mind as of now, especially since they are so close to qualifying already. They check the building, realize, hey, maybe Booga's not here, and they're already setting their eyes on somewhere else. Curve going a little bit towards the south. Higgs, you can see them trying to cover as much ground as possible, so that way they can get as much information on anybody straggling too far back from their duo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there was a chest right above Booga, but hey, they're feeling pretty confident, more happy to try to hunt for the elims, and instead they get rewarded with the 2 drops. So there they go. It ends up paying off for Booga hiding out. Meanwhile, Mason and Noxy here just giving us some entertainment. See how Dozier and V Tyler end up finding a nice little elim there. That one's onto visuals. That's a tough one for him. Jumping back over to Ritual, though. Where's your teammate, my man? It's at 200 points right now. Ager's the other side of the curve here. The cube.
Yeah, Ager's only goal here is stay alive. They get uncontested chiseled cube. They have a lot of space. We did see it in game 8 in the last qualifiers. That's something they have to keep in the back of their mind, where Clicks and Higgs at the time pushed on over, got the elimination on the Ritual, and Agers simply could not stay alive. So hopefully they've learned from their past. But Peterbot and Poi again, look who's in the sky. It's Northern again. They're trying to beat that record of 5 elims on enough by himself in that last game. I'm not sure what Northern's going through, but I could definitely feel his pain.
He's just getting scrambled up, put in the frying pan. Like, they're just doing what they do over there. They're at almost 8 eliminations, and we jump into the real time, and I see Peterbot once again in the feed. So at this point, I don't even know what to think of it, but they're going for first place because why not? Meanwhile, Curve and Higgs here. Tournament's pretty much life is on the line right now. It's Dozier ends up getting the full elimination there onto Higgs. Curve forced to back off. Hopefully he doesn't rotate into anyone too strong of a duo. Booga's on the outskirts here, but I don't think he wants to fight just yet. Booga doesn't seem to have his teammate near him just yet either, as he's getting chased by Mason Noxy.
Everybody now closing the gap. Oof. Looks like Mason Noxy might have spotted him out. I saw some shields go down just like that. Higgs fresh off the reboot, so maybe that'll deter them from getting fully aggressive. But if they spotted Booga out as a solo, I'm not sure much can do to stop them, especially since it doesn't look like Braids is anywhere nearby. If we look at Bolts and Acorn, not necessarily going for any early game aggression here. They're just sticking to the strategy that gets some of these kind of late game placements every single time, as Northern again doesn't even get the chance to hit the launch pad. He gets taken down by Poyo at the last second. 9 eliminations here. I know we were talking about they want to win it, they missed the game, but right now I'm not sure there's anybody that can slow this team down.
Look at this, wasted no time either. Knew exactly what they were going to do, land on the chest there. They go ahead and get the bandages as well. The quick pickup, like the momentum is flowing right now. They're at 9 eliminations, mind you guys. They are looking to fight for a curve level performance where they pulled up with 18. They're already halfway through, and we're just in the zone of 5. This could really go either way, you know, based off of Peterbot and Pollo's performance right now. They're setting themselves up for a potential first place prize winnings off of this.
He's looking for Bugha. Yep. Followed him outside of the zone, just trying to go ahead and solidify this elimination. And remember, Curve at one point was the one trying to stay alive, but he was able to hunt down Bugha successfully, get that elimination, and just try to pull further and further away. And I do believe the way this game has played out so far with early game eliminations for Curve and Higgs and not so much for Bugha and Brage. Remember that 1-point differential? I believe Higgs and Curve have now overtaken them on the leaderboard and now sit in fourth place inside of that bubble. Fourth place, excuse me.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt the math. It's adding up that way. They really are playing just a little bit more consistent right now. Most of what we've seen is like Bugha getting hunted down, Braids hiding out. I don't even know where Braids is at this point, but he's found himself somewhere that seems to be safe. I'm concerned with Storm Surge at this point, or Storm Sickness, really, given that he's just been in the zone the entire time. Like,
good call. A very good call, because it's something that we have seen play a role, but when it comes to reload, not as much as you would think in the feed. Pollo just taking down Northern again. You got to imagine they're finally on double digits here. And Monster, actually, I want to see how it's just not able to touch the ground at all. Even when he does, he doesn't have builds. He doesn't have a loadout to fight back. Northern, I just feel so bad. Peterbot and Pollo, they just select one person each game and make it their sole focus to make sure they can't play.
Yeah, that's pretty tough, man. It's a tough hand to be dealt there. I mean, and it's late enough that you spawn in at least with some kind of arsenal, so it's not completely free, but they have such an advantage over you. Scare and Queasy, though, 3 elims right now. This is that team, like I said, they were in the 173 range, right? If they can get a good chunk of elims the next 2 games, they can very well fight for one of the 2 spots that's available. You know, Queasy wants it more than anyone else. See if Tyler and Boozier can put up a fight, though. They're already at 5 elims, so they're playing really well so far here.
2 shots left, though, for Tyler. The Gatekeeper not going to be able to use them. Scare is going to pick up that one. And I like this out of Scare and Queasy, because you're saying 173. If you look at their placements, every single game but 2, they're inside of the top 10. They had a 13th and 18th that they kind of fell outside of that same consistency. The biggest thing that they're lacking, though, because other teams have a similar placement history, it's eliminations. They have 12. And if you kind of look at, you know, the other teams on the leaderboard, we have in the side of the 30s, Braids and Bugha inside of the 20s. You even have Salt and Enough at like 17 with Aegis Ritual 18. So they're losing out on a couple of points that the teams above them on the leaderboard are collecting by their lack of aggression. So with 2 games left, maybe they've realized that and have started to pick up the pace.
Yeah, they're definitely on the lower side of average elims, like across the board. And to your point, yeah, their placement is very much on par with everyone else, well within, you know, the top 5 pretty much. So it's up to them, really, if they really want it. And it seems like they are at least switching the strategy just a little bit here. So see if they can keep up the pace realistically is what it comes down to for Josh Niamzo, though. No sweat, no trouble in paradise either. They're sitting dead center right now. Big material counts, elims this game here. Very much in a race for first as well. It's not just the Peterbot, Pollo, Acorn, and Bolt show. These guys are all very much in the conversation right now.
And it looks like, for the most part, Josh Niamzo have the 2nd most eliminations in the tournament behind Peterbot and Pollo so far with 31. Obviously, this game, we can start to add those on a little bit later, but they're only 1 point shy of Acorn and Bolt, who are currently in first place. So even though Josh and Niamzo have nothing to lose, they already got their spot secured, they're playing because they want to win the entire thing. They want to start to build up momentum and be a team that can be feared. So that way, when the EWC finally does roll around, they can hopefully get a spot uncontested.
Yeah, gotta get that uncontested. That's gonna play a huge factor, of course, because then you get the freedom, right, to like send someone off to go try to farm some points, whereas when you're full contested, you know, anything can still happen. Decent
rotation being forced out of a good portion of the lobby. Only a few being gifted the front side of the zone. Everybody else to rotate over. Flowberry Fizz, Crash Pad. That's going to be the method for Muzz and Sphinx, but Sphinx taking a lot of that damage on way to the front side of the zone. But luckily, there's no pressure coming out, so they're going to be able to safely heal while every other team plays catch-up trying to make this rotation possible. And if you look at the zone now, it's all fine and dandy, but if we continue to move on over towards that POI, the eastern side towards Chiseled Cubes, there's going to have very different elevation change. But Booga and Braids pick up a elimination here, second one of the game, with how down bad they have been so far. It's great to see them starting to pick themselves back up.
Let's see how it's going to play out. Bouncing back. They're at 2 elims right now. 228 on the point threshold. Just holding on at this point. You know, looking at them early on, like you said, they were really struggling, but here we are in the end game. No more reboots. They seem to have found their footing, so it's as much their opportunity as anyone else's now to really take away here.
It is 8 zone. They do have the launch pads. Got to imagine Acorn has the Flowberry Fizz, so they're just not worried about this rotation too much. Let other teams start to move forward, and then they're going to deploy their launch pad down and try to just fly across these next couple of zones. Higgs and Curve, they don't have that same luxury, though. Shockwaves is going to be the name of the game for them. They let Ritual go out first, try to trap Aegis by himself. They don't successfully land that play, but they also get good information about where they're rotating to so they can try to dodge it.
I think they have really low material, too. Like, if you look at it, they're out of the heavy material, so Higgs and Curve not looking the hottest right now. They're definitely one of the weaker duos in contention right now. If they can, you know, pull something big through, it's going to make all the difference for them. Let's see. Meanwhile, up top, yeah, Acorn and Bolts playing this super safe here. An extra launch pad in hand as well. That's exactly the spot you want to be in. That's how you coast your way to some placement points there. Jumping back into the conversation down in the bottom, though. Peterbot, Boyo, 11 elims now. Firing their way up. Here comes the Shockwaves right into Booga's area. They don't quite go for the fight first, so that's going to be a little bit favorable for everyone here, but they are going to find Chimp there in the layer above them. Can't be building in wood, not this high up. You do become a target here.
Top 16, though. One team needs to go down. You start to get placement points. There's 2 solo players running around, and Poyo accidentally gets Shockwave outside of the zone by Peterbot, having to use a Shockwave to get back. A lot of resources being dwindled down there from Peterbot and Poyo, but they're able to bypass this 9th zone. They'll touch ground in the 10th zone, maybe 11th if they play their cards right, but Booga and Braid still able to survive. But Braid just has barely any HP. He's finally getting that shield back, but I think they finally ran out, just like Yam, so he's going to go down. Josh by himself. You see him scrambling around, trying to get distracted by 2 other teams who are still fighting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Brace had just gotten that knock, too, so maybe the Elan just came through, so he might actually get the HP off the Siphon. Jumping back to Sphinx and Muzz, though. Look at this. Sphinx is up by himself here. Higgs finds elimination onto Scare. Oh, those are some big exchanges there. Queasy's going to be the next team to pretty much fully fall there inside the top 15. Meanwhile, High Ground, Boyo and Peterbot are back at it, looking to set themselves up for a win here. Big pressure coming in. They find visuals there, swatted out the sky like it's nothing, and threats. It's a little grief for Peterbot's loot here. He's not too happy about that.
Yeah, not necessarily the best, especially since they're in contention as well. A good game here can put them just outside of reach for the last game of the day, but Josh is going to go down. I think that's the end of the Yamso and Josh in this game. Their fight for first is going to come down to game 8 as well, but Booga and Braids, top 13, very, very minimal placement points just along with Curve and Higgs to start this game off. So they were 1 point differential between the two, and another elimination there as Booga's just trying to go for the road unseen underneath. Let it open up. This could be a great play, but also this could turn into a disaster depending on where the zone actually goes.
Yeah, it's either going to be a trap or a genius strategy here. Well, we'll see. Curve finds his immediate competition. That's a great elimination for Curve and Higgs right there. Braid says, I don't like it. I'm going back up, and out he goes. Ends up playing off well. At least he's still in the game right now. He's got a couple more mats to work with. Barely dodges a shot right there. How is he still in the mix here? Either way, he is standing tall and strong. I saw I Am Enough inside the top 10. I wonder if Salt was still in this game. Braids, though, with the cheeky side angle off to Higgs. Higgs got some serious problems now. R24 down in front of him, too. There goes the finish, but no, someone comes in from behind. Meanwhile, on high ground, it's Bolts fighting for it, and he's going to get a top 6 now.
15 eliminations, though, for Peterbot and Pollo. Top 6, good amount of placement points. But if Peterbot and Pollo could continue to get eliminations here and win this game, they can certainly continue to close that gap. Higgs and Curve almost going down to a huge flank by Frades. They were able to end him and Puga's run, 291 points. This is also their chance, Monster, to start to pull away for it with that second team that needs to go to the EWC. Threats goes down, another elimination. They're on 11 total. One of 2 actual duos with a solo still left in this game.
Yeah, this is one of the more impressive teams that we're watching because everyone was very curious about Higgs and his dynamic with Curve. What can they do? But for the first time now, we're seeing that excel, that high level of competition coming out of them back-to-back. Plus 10, over 10 elimination games is so impressive for Curve and Higgs. But now you have Peterbot and Pollo up top here to 2v2. Curve goes up first. He's the healthy one. He's got to take the fight to their doorstep. It's not looking good. He has to concede to low ground, and he's cost himself so much damage. This is not looking too hot right now. He's got Peterbot below him. He's got Pollo up top here. Curve's got to do something big now. Can he jump down and close this one out? 3 mats, 2 mats, jumps down. Pollo's down, but the fall damage and the shot from Pollo closes out. And they actually do that with 19 eliminations there.